Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going over to Bitcoin. We got a CoinsKid crew. So Bitcoin is on the cusp of making history here, which is quite concerning. It has been making history at this low, to be honest with you, by, not hopium, not bullshit, it's data, isn't it? So the data point just here, we've got the 10 and 20 EMA, def cross prior, month before was the bottom, def cross on this low was the bottom, def cross on this low was the bottom the month before with a double bottom down there. But whenever the 10 and 20 is crossed, it's always just been a really good area to start accumulating your Bitcoin. Okay, so again, not bullshit, not hopium, it's data. Okay, and right now that data just there has been invalidated. So going forward, it could be quite concerning that Bitcoin's doing something like this by losing this data, obviously. But one thing that's concerning, really is concerning to be honest with you, is the potential looming def cross on the 10 and 55 EMA. So as you can clearly see here for Bitcoin, we've not got that much history looking back. We've been in this massive big push, haven't we, since 2010. You've got 12 years of data here in the charts, pushing up, pushing down, pushing up, pushing down. And right now you can clearly see you're sort of getting a little bit exhausted here. You're sort of slowing down in this trend, aren't you? So right now is the fact that Bitcoin's doing this, the potential looming def cross and the def cross that never hold historical data as in the low was in, is it a warning chart, a big warning sign that Bitcoin is actually in this sort of projected long bear market now, where you're losing these EMAs and creating def crosses on the monthly time frame? So as I said to you the whole way down here, I can't project that until it happens, but right now it is happening, isn't it? One thing we definitely need to see going forward, for me to sort of invalidate this particular scenario where this is just constant resistance for many years to come, is the fact that we need to get back above these EMAs, primarily it's 55. Okay, so if we do start to get back above 55 and hold them back to state support, for me that's a very bullish scenario going forward for Bitcoin. Okay, so that particular level of resistance currently sits around about $2,376 just there for Bitcoin. Will it do it? I don't know, but the projection right now is the fact that we lost this low, we're rallying into the EMAs as resistance, and right now we're continuing with this big downtrend that Bitcoin actually finds itself in. So it's all right people saying 10k, 5k, 3k, things like that, but the fact that Bitcoin's doing this in the charts is quite concerning for a sort of a prolonged bear market, one that people anticipate with having this sort of bear market would come down, then we've got the halving, we start to come back up. That could all be out the window because of what Bitcoin's doing in the charts right here. Okay, so this is quite concerning going forward. One thing Bitcoin has done just there is bounced off the Gaussian channel. Basically it came into the top end of the Gaussian channel on the monthly, and you found support on the median line of the Gaussian channel. So another looking glass to a bigger correction here, is the fact that if we start to see Bitcoin closing obviously below this low that we put in June, which is $17,585, and equally the median line of the Gaussian channel, because on any time frame when you do usually lose the median line of the Gaussian channel, by losing the top line you always head on to the medium line, so that was always a projected target, and equally by losing the median line you always head on down to the bottom line. Now it won't do it in a swift action like it didn't do here, so it closed inside, went sideways until the Gaussian started to come up and meet it. So right now if this thing does start to close down here and starts to reject, okay, and starts to roll, then the bottom end of the Gaussian will be met wherever it is in time. It doesn't mean this thing can't go sideways and the Gaussian comes up to it eventually, but it's just a looking glass that when you close below the medium line on the Gaussian channel you do usually head on down to the bottom. Okay, the current price at the bottom is $7,755, but just because you close below $16,490 on the medium line this month, if you was to do that, doesn't mean you're going to go to that. Okay, because like I said to you, this thing creeps up, and then as this trend slows and goes sideways, the Gaussian will go sideways as well. So this will eventually come up and go sideways if that's the case going forward for Bitcoin. So what we definitely need to see going forward for Bitcoin is a swift recovery right now, some kind of crash, grab liquidity, start to come back up, some kind of big V-shaped recovery like that would be really nice, or some kind of black swan or bear trap down here would be the bullish scenario. But in a minute we have to pay attention to what the charts are doing, so it's all about the monthly closes. Like I said to you, if we do start to see Bitcoin close below that monthly low just there, the June low at $17,585, it could be a looking glass that we are actually on the cusp here of a potential 10 and 55 def cross. So that's a really bearish scenario. So how bearish is it? Well, we can't really look at Bitcoin and say how bearish it is because it's never done it, but what we can do is look at historical charts like the S&P 500 and take a look at that and see what's happened when it's done that. Okay, let's take a look. So looking at S&P 500 on the monthly time frame, then we've got two instances here that potentially are on the cusp of this with Bitcoin. It's not guaranteed, it's not done it yet. Please pay attention to what I'm saying. It's not done it yet. The possibility of it doing it is there. Obviously, it's very real, but there have been instances where the S&P has almost done it and it's prevented it and actually got a slingshot, and it was just a liquidity grab, a bear trap, which is what Bitcoin could currently be doing before it broke back above. Okay, so just there, this was the ultra bear scenario for the S&P 500. This was your dot-com bubble just there. This was the 2008 financial crisis, and you can clearly see we got a very similar scenario to Bitcoin, where we rallied into the EMAs and then boom, we dropped, creating the death cross just there. And it was just an indication for that death cross being created that, wow, you've got a big crash on your hands. Okay, but down here it was opportunity. It wouldn't have felt like opportunity, and I think, you know, you might potentially see the same again with Bitcoin if we do get that crash, okay, leading to 2023. It's a possibility, isn't it? Please remember, it's not done it yet. We've not got the death cross yet, but if we do get the death cross, it could be a big warning sign that we have got a big crash on our hands for Bitcoin, okay? And it's just some kind of flush out for crypto. It's an absolute possibility. It's not done it yet. Please remember that. People think when I'm showing you things in the charts, it's already done it. It's not. You're not paying attention. It's not done it yet. It's on the cusp of doing it, and it can be prevented from doing it. I'm going to show you where the S&P actually almost looked like it was going to do it, and then it didn't do it, and it shot off into space. So we have got that possibility as well, that we are experiencing some kind of bear trap, some kind of fake out, some kind of, you know, black swan for the crypto markets right there. So there's two instances here. 2001, boom, death cross, see you later. 2008, boom, death cross, see you later. Each of those was not, you know, not an opportunity. It was an opportunity, although it didn't feel like it, because we got swift recovery. And the thing we got here as well in the S&P 500, which is something I'm looking for Bitcoin, and I keep relaying this, is closes back above the EMAs. Closes back above the EMA. So if we do go for a massive crash, instead of trying to time the bottom, like I said to you, because it could be anywhere right now, people are pulling figures out the bum hole and this, that and the other, but it could absolutely be anywhere. This is why I don't want to hold onto a falling knife. This is why I'm looking for confirmation of a bottom, structural bottom, and one of the things I'm looking for is just getting your ass back above these EMAs, okay, because we're losing them. So instantly, after we have a big crash or whatever, I'm just looking for the EMAs to close out above. Okay, so you can see here, losing the EMAs, close out above, fantastic entry point. Come in here, losing the EMAs, closing back above was just a fantastic entry point, okay, with a stop loss below. But anyway, we did sort of have a very similar scenario here to what Bitcoin's done. We've come down, you know, we're turning the EMAs into resistance. We were coming down almost on the cusp of creating a death cross, getting multiple closes below the 55 EMA just there, creating that lower low as well, pretty much like what we've done with Bitcoin. But then almost instantly, as everyone at this point would have got really bearish, anticipating some kind of death cross on the 10 and 55, which is what we're anticipating now for Bitcoin, and lower lows and lower prices, was just simply getting our ass back above and closing above the EMAs. So again, you know, just look for that in Bitcoin. If you start to see from this point it rally and closes back above the EMAs, boom, it's your entry point, and it's something I keep relaying to you. Okay, we did get a very, very shallow death cross just there, and again, very similar scenario just there. It came down, got the death cross. You know, don't want to catch a falling knife. All you had to do is wait for the close above the EMAs, holding back to support, see you later. We did get the confirmation of a death cross just there, and then the continuation and a big crash. But again, all you had to do was kick back, relax, wait for it to bottom out, come back up and close back above a 10 EMA. That's your entry point right there. Very similar scenario to here. We've got the death cross. Just let it do what it's going to do. Come back up, close above the EMA. Fantastic entry point for a relief, okay? And if we move to the left, I think we've got a couple of instances. I don't know why I'm not getting the candlesticks just there, but this is the S&P 500. This isn't Bitcoin. It's a completely whole different thing. But I'm just showing you historical data on other charts that's got longevity of a potential projection for Bitcoin if it does do it. Please understand, in my opinion, although people will be saying, oh, Bitcoin's a scam, it's going to zero, you know, Peter Schiff's right, it's going to $1. It will be an opportunity, but the opportunity will be not necessarily trying to time the bottom or find the bottom with guesswork. It will be buying the break back above and the close above the 10 EMA if it does start to do this. Okay, so just there you can see this major market crash in the 20s, just there, the latter part of the 20s. Look at that death cross, look at that whopping crash for the S&P 500. It's a possibility. We could do that. Who knows? You know, no one's got a crystal ball, have they? Anything can happen. This is Bitcoin. Quick, swift recovery, then another one. Look at that. 2 crashes within a few years, 20 years right there. So it's a possibility. You know, it's not done it yet. This isn't like a perma bear video or perma bull video or whatever. It's a data video. And this is what I try and do for you right now, is just relay the data to you, okay, that if it does happen, it's a possibility. You know, it's an opportunity as well, in my opinion. But by people saying you're going to go to 10k, 5k, 3k, 2k, whatever. For me, I would just wait. Okay, just wait, be patient, don't try and time the bottom, don't try and perfectly buy the bottom like everyone is projecting. Even myself got that 11k target, the golden ratio, things like that, because you don't necessarily want to hold on to a falling knife. All you've got to wait for, if this scenario does play out, and it is a big if as well, it's just closing back above the 10 EMA on the monthly time frame after some kind of big catastrophic crash. That's really that simple. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that update. It's just a bit of a thought experiment that if we do go for a big crash on Bitcoin, and we do see a death cross on the 10 and 55 EMA, just kick back, relax, and wait to buy the close above the 10 EMA on the monthly time frame, because that'll be your entry point. Because historically, the S&P 500 has shown us that that's just a really good entry point. Hope you enjoyed that update. Stay healthy, stay strong, stay tuned, and take care, everyone. Thank you for support. Bye bye.